What's up, guys? Welcome back to the TCG Scrubs podcast. I'm Oscar, and as usual, joined with by Team ARG's Colin. What's up, Colin?
Hey.
I
might tweet about today's podcast. And see.
You should. And Joey from Joe's Corner.
Hey. You should probably tweet about the topic that we're going to be talking about today.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm referring to. I'm not going to tweet about our normal podcast.
You tweeted about it before, though.
Also, before I forget, as speaking of ARG, be sure you guys check out the ARG channel. I'll link below. Mike Ranson and I came out with a new video, and we'll be coming up with some more videos. We're going to try and be more regular with that content, with some cool discussion points. So be sure to click that link and subscribe and follow and all that stuff.
Mike is Colin's new best friend.
Yeah, you know, it's funny hearing him say Mike Ranson and I. Sounded like Mike Grandson and I. That's what I heard when he said it. Anyways, before we get too far, make sure to check out Happy Little Hug Factory. You can find the link in the description down below. You can go and pre-order the starter decks for the new Valhalla set as they restocked, but you can't get the box anymore as you guys bought all of those out as well. So until further notice, they're just not there. But there is a starter deck deal. Colin, what was that deal again?
If you add all 5 starter decks into your cart at once, you'll get $10 off the total cost. So it's $15 a piece, and so after that $10 off, it's a flat price of $65 for all 5 starter decks. And and we'll keep you guys up to date. Like we let you guys know when they ran out of starter decks, and then they got some more in, so we're letting you guys know that. So hopefully something similar will happen with the booster boxes as well.
Yeah, it'd be cool. I mean, I don't know if that's information we can get, but just to see the overall total count that they ended up going through in the end for those starter decks. But hopefully, like I said, throughout the whole season, we see some more. But anyways, if you guys want to pick those up or check in later or right now, I guess, they have a singles list for, current Force of Will cards, as well as later on, you'll see a list for, say, newer cards in case you want to pick some up or sell some. But link in the description down below if you want to check them out, and they know we'll send you over. And then also patreon.com/TCG Scrubs if you'd like to become a patron. Thanks to everybody who is a patron. We're able to get this on lots of different platforms and have, better audio now for Joey. Joey, say something.
Finally.
Yeah.
But again, it's all thanks to everybody who helps us out there, who helps us keep upgrading our equipment and doing all sorts of fun and cool stuff. But
and there's also every week when we release our podcast, we release a mini podcast there as well.
It's true.
We got all of our streaming equipment, so we'll be able to, at some point, once it's all set up and it dies down in our personal lives, we can not only film games now with a DSLR camera, but we can also stream games or anything we want with a DSLR camera to our computer. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah. It's been pretty chaotic with just work, and I have a family reunion coming up, so I haven't been able to get with Colin and play some games recently. But with all that said, we have our first topic of the night, right, Colin? You were wanting to talk about...
so we were literally getting ready to start the podcast, and I was double-checking Facebook to see if there was anything random to talk about, and came across this link.
This random link, right?
Yeah, it links to FOWTCG.com. Must be a new website. And it's a ban list update.
Whoa.
As of today, it is a ban list. Not only is it a ban list...
Well, not today, but the day we're filming.
Yeah, the 27th. That is slated to take effect September 7th. So this is our first, technically ever, emergency ban list. Because it is not taking effect when the set comes out or the week before the set comes out.
Well, I mean, Reflective Frames ban list didn't take place when the set came out either.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it wasn't necessarily, it was a different set of circumstances that happened. Mm-hmm. It still was within the purview of, it was a whole weird thing. But This is the first, thing. So we pulled this up right here. I haven't looked at what it is or anything like that. So we'll go through the article. We'll go through the article and see where it takes us. Sound like a plan?
Sounds like a deal. Starts off with some numbers, it looks like.
Yeah, so it starts off and it says that all this data was from high-level events between June 8th and August 17th. So just a 3-month period.
Includes Collinsville in there.
It gives us a top 8 metagame breakdown. And so it basically says out of the top 8s, 60% of all cards were Cherie.
59.72%. Let's try and be accurate, okay?
And you'd be thinking, oh wow, 60%. Second place must be 30% or some sort of showing. Nope. Second showing is 9.72% with Lumia, then 8.8% with Keurig, 8% with Fair, and sort of breaks down from there, with rounding out with Idrisil at 1.39%. But you can
really
see
nice,
that.
There's a really nice pie graph.
Yeah, it's got some
it'd be cool
images.
I don't know if we can get that up.
Yeah, no, they can see it. Don't worry.
Yeah, it's fine. Just add some work for me, Joey.
No, I got you, Oscar. Don't worry.
Real quick, I just want to jump in and comment on this real quick. That being the person who on our website, visit guys, tcgscrubs.com, we have all the top 8 lists for all the events. I would say it's funny that you look at all the U.S. events, and I don't think there was many that had Lumia at all. It's all the international events that Lumia came in, especially at the Asian countries I saw.
And especially
that was very prominent in those.
Are they Raya Cluster events or are they New Frontiers?
They're New Frontiers. The only people running Raya Cluster was certain parts of Europe. Like I think just Italy, to be honest. You had certain master events, I want to say, that were Raya Cluster only.
Also,
and
this does say like the following represents the current top 8 metagame breakdown for New Frontiers.
And for the viewers looking at this, that each of these images is the first place winner of these top 8, so you could see when Cherie became legal.
Mm-hmm.
So go back here. But yeah, so the next section, in addition to the metagame breakdown for winning rulers appearing, what does that mean? Can someone translate that?
In addition, the metagame breakdown for winning rulers appears as follows.
I think that's the actual winning decks that ended up.
Oh, like first place?
Yeah.
First place, yeah.
Okay, that makes sense with what we just saw on our website.
Yeah.
So it says, after a review of the New Frontiers format, we have found that our previous June 1st banlist effect was not drastic enough to alter their overall metagame. What? No offense, Jeff, but
Jeff, I hope you're laughing.
I just want to point out. I don't know if this is going to lead to a Cherie ban or not, but I would just say I literally said at the get-go, there's no physical way to balance Cherie outside of banning her. The power level was ridiculously off the charts, and I said at the time, they need to rip the Band-Aid off and just ban her, because if they do this mini ban of cards surrounding her and then later on have to ban her anyways, not only does that look really bad on them, like they couldn't figure out that she was too strong, but it also like is this weird thing of like, oh, these cards are useless because they're banned, and then it's this pivot into, oh, now the ruler's banned, and so now those cards. I don't know if I explain myself correctly, but it's just not good. And then you have that entire gap of period of time where if those bans didn't work, now you're hurting the top 8s and the competitive side, and you're hurting the locals if those bans don't work. And the easiest way to make sure the ban works was just to ban Cherie. Yeah, you'd probably still have a decently oppressive ruler in the form of Fair and Lumia, but nothing would see what we just saw, 60% of top 8s being Cherie, and then it dropped to 10% for second place. It'd probably be about a 30. I would say it'd probably be somewhere between 20-30% of Lumia, Keurig, and Fair. Those would probably share those percentages in some fashion, and then the percentages would break down. So it still wouldn't be a perfect format, but it's a decently healthy competitive format. And at the locals, it's not an oppressive thing, because the problem with Cherie at the local level is because of the way it works of countering stuff and canceling stuff and stopping stuff from happening. It makes it so people at the locals don't want to play the game. Whereas if you lose to something like Lumia or Keurig, you're still fine with playing because you can figure out ways to better best that deck. Whereas Cherie, there's no way to play around Cherie outside of playing another Cherie. That was my little spiel.
He's passionate about this.
I said that. I just point out what I said at the beginning. So the drop wasn't steep enough. While some around the world expressed a wish for an emergency banning to combat this, we wish to collect as much data as possible before issuing severe decisions, especially as this was only the second format Speaker had been legal in. One other thing about that, I can understand that. This is my other point. But where Force of Will, this is my other point, is where Force of Will is at currently, it couldn't afford to just keep doing this wait and see that it's done with every single overpowered ruler that's been in the game. It's better to just, like I said, it's better to just ban it and keep your player base and not have people leaving the game than to leave it, because no one's going to leave the game if you ban it. People are going to leave, were leaving the game and left the game.
People totally leave the game.
No, I find me someone who would leave the game from Cherie being banned. There's going to be people who are salty about it. I can guarantee it. No one's going to leave this game.
People left over like Birthing Pod being banned in Magic and like a ton of modern cards being banned in Magic. I'm just saying bans shouldn't be taken as lightly as you seem to be taking it.
No, they shouldn't be. But Cherie is one of the most obvious bans in any card game ever created, outside of Reflect Refrain.
Right, and I don't disagree. I'm just saying like...
I'm saying you shouldn't take bans lightly, but it's...
like
Cherie was destroying
in this case, you're right.
Yeah,
but you know,
I'm not saying this about anything else. I'm literally saying it about this case in which I'm right. This is my only situation where I'm like, I'm saying I literally just said in any other situation I can see this being the correct choice. But where Force of Will is right now, where it's a very precarious and it needs as many players as it can, the people who are going to be most upset about it leaving are maybe the competitive players who aren't going to go anywhere. People are happy about it staying. I mean, the damage already done, like I said in last week's podcast. We're going to try and rejuvenate it, but like it's at least in some part a reason our locals is officially dead temporarily and stuff. Reflect Refrain killed it. Before we even start Force of Will, Reflect Refrain killed off that locals, and we restarted it. And then we lost a couple people, or at least one or two people to... the Fox Prisha meta, and then this happened, and it's just like it. Yeah, my thing was just where the game is at. It would have been better to ban it off the bat.
A portion of our locals, there's a portion of Austin that still exists. Just they play during the weekdays, which I'm not available for. But
yeah. But yeah, so. You want to start us off, Oscar? Let's start with
so for first card up that's going to be banned is this card called Speaker of Eternal Night. Looks like they deactivate to Scheherazade. Oh, wow. Anyways, Cherie's banned. That's it. We did it, finally.
We did it, boys.
We saw the day.
And in case you guys are wondering, I'm probably going to real quick put up a video tonight, Sunday, so you guys know, just as a mini news thing. But this is our live reaction and more detailed analysis of it. But just in case you're like, oh, you already talked about this, I'm just going to mention it real quick in a short little 1-minute video. Yeah. But this we're actually talking about. So it happened. Woo!
The way you started that, I totally thought you were going to say like by the way, guys, like later tonight I'm gonna be celebrating. like.
I should. Yeah. I didn't. If I'd known a banlist was coming tonight, I would have like grabbed some alcohol or something and brought it over here.
It's not too late. Go grab it. We'll wait.
Had a good shot.
I'll cut this out. Go.
No, it's probably still gross. Last time it was pretty gross.
How convenient. It's gross now, guys. He's the one go get it.
I need to go buy some, man. We were going to last time. You didn't remind me. God damn.
What, 6 months ago when we did that Q&A?
No. What? Like 2 weeks ago. Anyways. All right. So Cherie is officially.
Good job.
Cherie's officially banned.
In every format, I want to add.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she's banned in Wander. And she's banned in Epic Stories.
And Epic Stories. And Origin. Oh, not Origin. Genesis.
Reflect Refrain isn't banned in every format.
Yeah, no one cares anymore.
I'm just saying, I think he's less toxic than Cherie.
Yes, technically. So.
Okay. So question, Colin. How much of a percentage would you say you contributed to this ban?
How loud was your voice?
If it's based on volume of voice and quantity of voice saying things, then at least 50%.
Jeff, please comment below the percentage.
I don't know if I buy that.
Well, it'd be hilarious if they're like, you know what, we're just gotta shut Colin up, so let's just ban this. I'm just so sick of it.
Yeah, right. We keep reading because I feel like there might be more stuff banned, and I'm because I kind of scrolled too far down, so I like saw
stuff is being unbanned because
oh, is it?
Yeah, because she's banned, so you no longer need to have certain things banned. You don't need to have Evil Genie banned, because he's not exactly something you want. Yeah, so it says, since Cherie's release, she's dominated the game. As New Frontiers had less supportive weapons than Wanderer. Which was something else people point out that was super weird. They banned her in Wanderer, but not New Frontiers, because Wanderer has way more answers to her than New Frontiers.
Well, but she has more things she can do in Wanderer.
She has more things she can do, but there's more things that can be done against her. These bannings in June, combined with the new rulers in WOM, were intended to reduce her representation in the meta to acceptable levels, and we hope this to be the case. I don't know how. When's the Almost Moon give us 2 terrible rulers and 1 decent ruler that has a very specific playstyle that can be countered by Cherie? That's just me.
Yeah. I think some of the WOM rulers could have.
What were the rulers? I only remember Feasting. What was the other one?
Oh yeah, okay. Sorry, I'm getting the Winds of the Almost Moon mixed up with the rulers we're getting now in the starter deck.
Oh yeah, no. He's talking about.
I was messed up. I mean, it was Feasting, Feasting Scarlet and
Scarlet was Time Spinning Witch.
Okay.
Time Spinning Witch had Cherie, Scarlet, Aimul, Kirik, and Shayla, and then and WOM was Time Spinning Witch as a buy a box promo, Feasting, like you said, and Rhea.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right.
And that
so
was
basically,
so it's just
basically Feasting and Time Spinning Witch. With Time Spinning Witch, it seemed like she was getting a good, starting to get a foothold, but
yeah, but she's countered by Cherie. She's gonna have a decent foothold now.
Feasting was countered by Lorite. It just stopped it hard.
Everything's countered by Lorite. Maybe we'll get a Lorite ban now. That'd be great.
All right, I'm gonna take over because Colin keeps interjecting himself. And
I'm not. I was reading that.
It's gonna take us 30 minutes.
Okay,
to get through this. Okay.
I act like we have other stuff to talk about on this podcast.
Unfortunately, this was not so. Even with some of her most powerful tools removed, I disagree. She still has far too much flexibility and support. Having access every game to an extra deck, tailor-made to counter every broad strategy led to I'm making corrections as we read, to a strong Swiss matchup spread, and the combination of Puppet Maker and more support that was introduced, and a plethora of quick cast dolls gave her a dominant win condition. On top of this, her 3-cost Judgment gave her 3 separate enter abilities and 1,000 flying battle stats, which I still don't know why she's flying, while retaining her quick cast ability.
Look at her. She's floating in the air.
Gosh, I'm literally reading this and getting really mad all over again of how the heck this got past development.
I don't know.
Who read this? This is literally a full paragraph.
Anything sounds bad when you.
It's
when you lay out stuff like that.
You're supposed to lay out when you're developing cards.
Well, it's like me and Joey like to joke around that this card had 5 other keywords on it that they removed to soften it.
Yeah,
it had drain. Yeah, this is the nerf version of it.
It was originally Lorite's 7 Disciples, where it gained all these things, every keyword in the game.
That was a whole other paragraph on this that they removed from it. To their, give it to a resonator.
As a result of these dominated tournaments, we've decided to remove her from the New Frontiers format, which, by extension, like we mentioned, she is now 100% can't be played anywhere outside of special rules with you and your friends.
Yeah,
better sell you.
I looked at Origin. I don't think she's been banned in Origin yet.
Yeah, so many people play Origin.
It's a format.
Sorry,
you know what? More people play Epic Stories than play Origin, but it's still a recognized format that has a ban list from the company.
Yeah,
keep that in mind.
Magic hardly started recognizing Commander until a couple years ago. So.
That's irrelevant to what I'm saying. I'm just saying
they only recognized it because they realized they could make money off of it. Force of Will hasn't figured out how to make money off of the Epic Stories, so it'll stay dormant.
Okay, Evil Genie and Ava is unbanned. Cool.
Oh, yep. Like I said, Evil Genie
and Ruined Story. Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
What? Oh, that makes sense. I told you. I said Ruined Story is super balanced outside of that because it's a 2-cost that requires blue or black and green, especially moving into a format with dual stones possibly gone.
Yeah,
and. It's a single banish, so you don't even get to destroy something for 2-cost quick cast. We have 2-cost quick cast that destroy, so it's technically not as good as that. Only way it excels
still
is by
modular.
getting around barrier or can't be destroyed or stuff like that. If it's only resonator on the field, and or you can put bounce a resonator from your graveyard into your hand, which once again for 2 costs with 2 different colors is not bad. And then the cancel spell, unless your opponent pays 1 void more, is average. So it's still pretty versatile. It's a good card. It's a good SR card, but it's not no longer broken.
Yeah, and I don't think this is gonna like make any super waves or anything.
Yeah,
I know it's
it'll
gonna
see
be, like,
play. It's not going to see a lot of play.
No,
I
but
think it'll see
if
a
you
lot,
if
but I
anybody
don't.
listening doesn't have their copies yet, go pick them up. They're 60 cents each.
Oh,
Colin's like, hold on, guys.
I can't. I'm recording my screen. I'll have to do it later.
And you know what?
Assassin, guys.
By later they'll be gone.
Okay.
I just want to see what full art was going for. Oh wow, full art is going for 60 cents too.
Okay, you guys are going to see TCG player. TCG player. You're going to sign in. Don't look at my password. Doody doo da.
Okay, I'm gonna continue on so Colin can order his cards.
Yeah, go ahead.
Unlike the previous cards, Ruin Story has a strong base power level. However, we still believe that its power level is not too strong for the current meta, considering it loses one of its modes and players are not guaranteed to start with it. Therefore, Ruin Story is also unbanned in the New Frontiers format.
I think I like that.
Yeah.
I like to play with it. Like you said, it has a lot of modes to it. It's not like overly powered. It's decent at best. I'm sure people aren't going to run it for the fact that you lose the main, point of running it. But it's still a cool card to throw in here and there. I know at least in Epic Stories, like it's not banned there, but we were able to play with it, and it gets pretty useful.
Yeah.
Wander.
Oh yeah.
Sorry.
So Wander. Oh, I scrolled too far.
Yeah, I did too. I want to talk about the number 2 card that we're about to see here, but number 1.
So
I'm not-
real
How
quick.
did you scroll to the number 2 card?
Read the intro. The intro is very important.
Hold on, Joey. Like, how'd you scroll too far?
Okay, since
Says the
I
guy who
haven't
scrolled
seen
too
it,
far.
As many the game environment at a glance. As many players have noticed with the introduction of the new Valhalla cluster, we have brought the enter tag back into the game. Oh yeah. However, it now functions as when this card enters the field rather than when this card is played from your hand. This change has a drastic effect on the Wander format, where many old cards will be looked at again in a new light. However, there are cards that we found in testing that limit our future designs and are generally best removed from the format for the time being. In addition, we feel some cards have created an oppressive atmosphere where we would like to allow for potential growth, and thus have added some cards to the list to weaken yet not remove strategies from the metagame.
So first up,
Lumia, this Faded Rebirth is banned.
in Wander.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah. Wow.
That
Joey,
makes
keep going.
sense.
I wouldn't be surprised to see this also in other formats, just for fun stuff like Epic Stories or Genesis or anything like that, because with the change of the
Right,
keyword,
because-
this changes a lot of stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Okay. Since Lumia has been introduced into Force of Will, she's been played quite often, though until now always in moderation. We've seen Lumia combo with cards such as Captain Hook, Fair's Command, and many other cards across this game's history. She comes with Fair's Command? Okay. In Wander, she retained balance by the fact that older cards were designed around their Enter the Fields effects, not being repeatable through the Enter tag. Thus, she only worked with cards that were present alongside her in the New Frontiers format that were balanced around having repeatable Enter the Field abilities. She was strong but not imbalanced in Wander as a result. However, the change of the Enter tag to work in combination with so-called Flicker removed from effects presents unacceptable combination with Lumia. One of the most egregious combinations is Lumia / Nyarlathotep, which prevents the opponent from ever having a card that can interact with the combo unless they have very specific cards such as Lorite, 7, Luminaries, Astrology in their opening hand. What's that combo?
What?
The Lumia and Nyarlathotep.
Do I look like I play Wander?
I don't know. I just thought people would have been talking about it. Okay, so somebody else keep going because I want to look this guy up.
You want to look it up, Oscar?
Yeah.
So, I mean, their Fair's Command combo, that's been there for a while. If you're watching back in, what's it called, the Atlanta GP, that was something that was being run then. Anyways,
how does that work?
They just had enough things in the field that it was relevant. So it's like they flooded the field.
How does that work with?
You know what?
Whatever.
You know what, Joey? Go look at Ruler School channel and go watch Atlanta GP, and you'll see it used all day. Okay. All right. Next up is a card that I was like, why? Interdimensional Vessel Apollo. I feel like every ban list that comes out. I feel like every ban list that comes out, they're like, hey, what could we do to just like still chunk out at that Turbo Feetsing deck that existed once? Let's take another card. Let's take another really good card out of it.
Get rid of Joey's Zero Bomb even more. Make sure it never exists again.
I like the Apollo,
but
it makes sense that it does the same.
Yeah, I mean it's giving stuff flying. It's a free regalia. Also, I was thinking when I saw this, I was like, oh man, at what point in time, like in the future here, are we going to see it's where all the regalia have been banned in Wanderer? But I was just really sad to see this go. It just reminds me of when we were playing and using it and bouncing stuff to your hand, which is what you usually used it for, and things like that. And just like Turbo Feetsing, use it to get Adam Brawley's back, or maybe some like Gwybers, so you can play some more Gwybers down, whatever. It was just really cool. I was sad to see it go.
Yarmouth Usurper is the one. She enters. You may look at target player's hand and choose a card. He or she discards that card.
Okay, yeah.
And then she also has the incarnation.
The Grim Nyar card, yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So she just keep coming in and making you discard cards.
I get it.
Yeah.
And that is something that people had been talking about in the US group a lot. I just didn't recognize the card name. But anyways, yeah. So sad to see Apollo gone. Also, this is starting to make it even more and less likely for people to even run Rulers Moria, seeing that's another regalia gone that you would have had in your deck to put into play.
Yeah. Next up is Play Dead.
We didn't even read any of the Interdimensional Apollo.
Oh. Do you want to? Oscar?
Kind of.
Okay, no, I don't want to read it.
Okay, hold on.
Interdimensional Apollo, I feel like, is pretty straightforward. So you could summarize it.
Okay. So they say we believed Interdimensional Vessel Apollo was only a few that could stay, providing certain resonator-based decks, such as Gwyber decks, could maintain their power level. However, since the release of the Ruler Time Spinning Witch, we have seen a troubling deck enter Tier 1 that heavily limited deck choice in the format. Using Apollo Time Spinning Witch can play Moon Incarnation for 1 blue wheel, searching out Bloody Moon and preventing special stone-based decks from playing the game unless they always had Lorite available. This heavily limited the meta to decks that could play on extremely low counts of stones, or decks are entirely mono attribute. I want to see what that effect is.
Which effect?
Says using Apollo Time Spinning Witch can play Moon Incarnation for 1 blue wheel, searching out Bloody Moon and preventing special stone-based decks from playing the game. I just want to see what that.
That's a Yeah, I forget the specifics, but it's a whole combo in Wanderer.
While we thought about banning Moon Incarnation, the long-term concerns about Fair Gwyber led us to take the safer option and ban Apollo instead, killing 2 birds with 1 stone. This allows the Time Spinning Witch deck to solve a stone destruction option while slowing down the deck to much for a reasonable lockout turn. Okay.
Colin, so did you get your Ruined Stories?
Yes.
Was it 3 full arts?
That, and I'm completing my order for 2 more full arts.
I had the 3 in the cart, and I was like, yeah, I'll do this. And then it was like, I went to hit checkout, and it was like, oh, there's these have been saved for later because they're out of stock.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I just completed that order, and that just got the only other one that had more than 1 quantity in stock.
Okay. So Bloody Moon, you banish the card, destroy target special magic stone, and then Moon Incarnation is a chant where you awaken it for 2 colorless, and you put a Moon Edition from your hand into your field. So it seems like it's a very specific combo, but I bet it could be pretty degenerate.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
All right.
So Playdead's banned.
So Playdead, yeah. So this is pretty interesting. I know this comboed with some stuff in Wanderer, didn't it? Well, I assume it comboed with like everything in Wanderer, actually.
Well, it says it's one of the fastest decks in the format, a combination of early Rookegg, Cthulhu plays, and indispensable resonators such as Sylvia, Blade of the Supreme King. However, while this has been acceptable in the past due to inherent weaknesses of such fast damage strategies, Playdead has largely erased those disadvantages.
Versus
simply a cancel... Sorry.
Go ahead. No, you're good.
It is simply a cancel spell for resonator removal spells. Its Playdead brings a swiftness resonator back on the field. Recover when it is put into graveyard. Secondly, there's a combo piece with Cthulhu's. You can attack with the Resonator, deal damage, play Playdead on the Swiftness Resonator that attack, banish it to Cthulhu. Okay, yeah. While I wish aggro to have its place in the format, Playdead pushes aggro past an allowable power level. Furthermore, it also consolidates all red aggro decks into the Keurig ruler, as it is the only deck that can consistently play the card. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's and apparently they're keeping a strong eye on the Rook Egg Cthulhu Living Flame combo in the future. For now, they're just doing Play Dead and seeing where they go from there. It's interesting. They're like, we're going to keep a strong eye on this, combo that's quite literally existed for years now, because those are just 2 old cards. But glad to see they're finally noticing that's a combo.
Well, no, I just think if it gets any if the deck gets any faster, they'll probably end up banning that.
Well, they said they're going to keep a strong eye on the combo in the future. It's like the combo exists. I don't know, but yeah, no, I mean that completely makes sense why Playdead is banned in Wander. I get it. Yeah. It's really strong.
I think
Origin. Go ahead.
No change.
No, Oscar Joy gave it away.
What?
I wanted to say that there's no change in Origins for the whole 3 people that play it.
You had the one. Is it Kai? Kai's like the only guy who plays it.
Doesn't Jeff play it?
Kai and Jeff.
They gotta have someone to play with, so for sure they're probably bad ladies.
Do you want to read the closing remarks, Colin?
Yeah, here, let me get real super serial. As we continue to grow as a game and as a company, we often reflect back on the choices we made and ask ourselves if the results of our decisions have fulfilled their intended purpose. Our goal is to strike accurately and precisely with regularly scheduled events when necessary to create a fun and healthy metagame for as many formats as possible. We also understand the repercussions that occur with popular ruler bannings. With that being said, the health of the game and long-term stability is the utmost concern. We will continue to address obstacles that arise and ensure that the user experience of Force of Will remains an enjoyable one. Thank you very much, R&D team.
Wonderful.
I like that whisper at the end. I also think it's funny. I went to Facebook, and on the marketplace, Taylor Norris is looking for an Uber Cherie now.
Yeah, nice. I was gonna say something. Oh yeah, no, it's funny. We're talking, and I look at just the ARG chat, and it's just like 46. I was like, unread messages. I was like, oh, they have some thoughts. Which keep an eye out. If, like I said, there should be a video already out on the ARG channel where we're going to be talking about these bands. So
show that picture. I think that was a great picture. I just sent you a picture, so I don't have to edit it in.
You should send it in Discord, Oscar.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so do you think any of the old rulers are going to be able to handle? Do you think any of the old rulers are going to be able to handle any of the the new rulers with their extra decks? Because I feel like
no.
What do you mean? Like, are any of the old rulers going to be able to still hold a candle to the new rulers with their
like,
yes? No, I disagree with Oscar.
People are going to be being played.
Yeah, old rulers are 100% going to be played.
Which ones? What do you expect to see happen?
I expect the rulers. I expect to still be Fair probably is dead because of the amount of token hate, as well as Lorite still being in the format, among other things. Mm-hmm. Powerless Dragonoid, all that stuff. Like, if Fair ever started to make a comeback, it's really easy to squelch that. So I think Fair is gone. Keurig, I think, will still be fine. I think Keurig will be decent until once more support, maybe 2 or 3 sets in, I think is when we'll officially see all the old rulers die. But I think Lumia is gone. I think Keurig will be fine. And
Lumia
I think
wasn't banned in New Frontiers.
She's rotating.
She's rotating.
Oh, she's rotated.
So, I mean, by extension, she's technically banned in New Frontiers. So, Keurig, I think, will be fine. I think Pandas will be fine because...
Pandas are never fine, Colin.
Because some of their only main thing against Pandas going against them right now is Lorite. Outside of that, they can now much more freely do combos and stuff like that. They don't have to worry about the old rulers or Lumia going against Lumia with the flicker and all that stuff. They don't have to worry about Cherie, which was the biggest detriment to some of that stuff. So Pandas, not necessarily maybe on a competitive level, but I think Pandas will still be played, is what I'm trying to say. I think Aimu will still see play because of her passive ability. Is just such a great utility. I think that she'll survive just fine. Well, not just fine, but like we'll still see her for a little bit. Time Spinning Witch will be fine. Like it's definitely a small pool. Like these rulers with their, especially not just because of the extra decks, but because of the effects of some of the cards in the extra decks, by default are gonna just filter out. Like I just said, I think Farrah is gone now, and stuff like that. But off the bat, I don't think we're killing every ruler off the bat.
Well, I don't think every ruler is dead out of it, but I do believe Carrick and Time Spinning Witch are the only ones who kind of have a chance.
It'll also
chance.
It's also hard to tell because a lot of the rulers have not been able to see any light because of Cherie, and now that Cherie is gone, these rulers that we've always thought of really bad or wouldn't be able to do good, maybe is because of Cherie just and different things like that, just squelched them so hardcore. So now that they come to the forefront, the things that make them strong could be extra strong against these new sets of rulers with their divinity cards because of how those rulers work. They maybe aren't that affected by those extra effects. So it's hard to say for sure, but yeah, I think for sure Time Spinning Witch and Keurig. For sure, Time Spinning Witch and Keurig are fine. I agree, and I think Aimu will squeak by for a bit. And I think I like you're gonna laugh, but I think Panda flooding the field with resonators for super cheap costs is a big deal. And
okay, so
is not something that we see with any of the new rulers.
So first of all, Oscar, you should cut that part out. I kicked my headset thing, and so
it's kind of hard to kick out or cut out because he was talking about stuff.
Yeah. Okay,
it's fine, Joey.
So I feel like yes, Cherie is gone, but I feel like we're just getting 10 new Cheries, that are gonna do close to the same thing that Cherie yes.
No. Sorry, I'm gonna jump in real quick. Close to it, as in working with an extra deck, yes, but what she did, no. She had that whole quick cast with Dolls thing, and then her enter abilities that even had even more effects on more effects. Yeah, that's completely different. Yeah.
But you're still gonna be facing a deck that has access to 5 more free cards than you. You're probably gonna be facing a deck that has a 0 cost discard card that puts you instantly ahead in the game, for free. I don't know. It's just I don't know if the old rulers' effects are going to be able to overcome that because I feel like maybe Time Spinning Witch I don't even think her maybe her ability to do that kind of lockout for 2 turns.
Yeah, you can't play your extra deck if you're locked out. Still, for the most part, costs will for that. So it's Time Spinning Witch, I think, is almost unaffected outside of the 0 cost runes. If you do the random discard and discards a vital card for the engine, and then they just are dead drawing after that and stuff like that, then obviously random stuff like that could affect it. But overall, I think locking out not only their stones but also an entire recovery phase twice in a game, as well as having big bodies on the field and different things like that, I think that's not going anywhere as far as relevance. That'll be perfectly fine.
Maybe. But in that case, I really think only Time Spinning Witch has the deck and the abilities based on her ruler's side to actually be relevant.
Here's what you're forgetting. You're thinking of hey, they start with these 5 extra cards, so they have an advantage. But you're forgetting that the ruler side has no abilities and the J ruler side has 1 ability and average stats and a high judgment cost. So think of it, Keurig, for example. on his ruler side, you can think of it as those 10 strength counters are a source to play extra cards. You could consider that as a divinity card that you would have flipped and gave you 10 counters or something like that, or his tap ability. He has a divinity card that lets him look, instead of paying any will, he just removes 3 strength counters and looks at the top 5 cards of his deck and grabs whatever typing and puts into his hand. So that's 2 divinity cards. And now he can flip over and he has a divinity card that's a God's Art that grabs the dragon and buffs him. He has the burn that he can constantly, it's like a divinity card that's an addition that stays on the field that constantly burns and stuff. You can start thinking of it in that sense. Then there's almost no difference in some cases outside of the new rulers have more versatility where they can actually switch those ruler abilities in and out. But I think power-wise and advantage-wise, like, yeah, it starts with 5 extra cards, but all the rulers are vanilla, and a judgment is in minimum of 3, and it goes all the way up to 5 to judgment for just one effect and nothing else and stuff. So I think that's why until we get more runes, it's I think it's an even playing field for now.
Yeah, that's fine. I obviously, we'll have to see how it ends up playing out. Like I feel like most if not all the rulers are gonna, like, I think there's gonna be some decks that are just like bonkers the way like that they can, like, some of the stuff that they're gonna be able to do and like have access to. But we'll see. Okay. I had another question I wanted to ask.
Yeah, good.
Well, I don't know. I'm trying to remember what it was.
Oh, okay.
Do you think Lorite should have been banned along with this Cherie ban? Or do you think she's going to be banned in the regular
ban cycle?
Real quick, I don't think there'll be another ban cycle. I think this is it.
I think there will be. I feel there will be.
They said this was like
this came up
like
only because the last GP of the season occurred today, essentially, and now it's like no more GPs for the rest of the season. The only thing you have is the World's Grand Prix, but they don't do New Frontiers; they do block only. So they're like, "Hey, what better time than any just to announce it? Boom, here you go." And then when we get the new
I know a better time to announce it. I know a better 3 months ago.
Yeah, well. Keep dreaming. But no, I think there will be another. I feel there will be another one. That's speculation, guys. But
I will say
I don't see any reason why not.
I will say I'm very happy they banned Cherie. It's really great they finally did that. I'll be honest, and I still too. I think it's much too late. I know they wanted data and all that stuff, but it's yeah. I think it would have been better just to ban it outright. But
let me say also real quick. I expect there to be another one, but there's no cards I expect right now off the top of my head to be banned. There's no expectations like I need this banned now. I think they hit it. They hit everything. But I thought there would be a few more Wanderer cards removed just based on the enter ability, but I'm guessing that hitting Lumia is what really helped just keep it down. Which makes sense. So I guess I'm kind of talking myself out of maybe there won't be another ban list, I guess.
Yeah.
They hit Lumia, and they said they hit Lumia, and they'll keep an eye on enter abilities to see if there's any other degenerate combos. But and to answer your question, Joey, if I had off the top of my head, if I had to pick one card I wanted them to ban in the next ban cycle, it would be Lorite. It's not necessarily because, well, I do think it's super ridiculously strong, but and I've said this before, I think it just snuffs out any creativity and fun inside of the game. It's like, oh, you have a cool enter effect, delete that. Oh, you're doing a cool combo, delete that. You're doing you're trying to spend a lot of will in order to get some sort of benefit off of it. Well, let me spend 1 will and delete that, and also have a body on the field, and also inside of a guild deck cycle back into my hand infinitely to always play it and stuff like that. So, and it's also an elf, so it combos with other stuff. And give it a Lord's Disciple so that it also you get rewarded for playing it and stuff like that. So yeah, if I could, I would say I would want Lorite banned. That being said, I don't think it should be banned until they print a balanced replacement inside of not green. Because we need something that cancels abilities. I think that's an important thing.
Isn't that basically just Keys' Call and the new blue?
But
we need something that cancels God's Arts.
Yeah, because doesn't keys call target
cancels activate abilities.
Yeah, and this was abilities you control. So
yeah, and we need something that cancels God's Arts. Otherwise, Timespan Witch could potentially run huge amok. I think so.
Yeah, there's a few decks I think they could run crazy.
You could run a Lorite-ish thing. You could, but make it blue inside of the color it's supposed to be in, and make it 2 costs instead of 1. So there's actually, a cost to play it. Playing 1 to get the effect that you get from that is nothing. There's no reason you should not always be leaving 1 wool up just to have that on standby. Leaving 2 wool up now, that's a big deal. Leaving 2 wool up going into your opponent's turn, not only is that suck because you didn't play something that turn, but your opponent sees you have 2 will up, and it's much more obvious in that 1 will isn't as versatile of what it can be played and not be played and stuff like that. It's like the whole Seal of Wind and Light thing. If you pass turn and I see you have a green and a white stone, I know what I'm playing around. When you pass turn and you had 2 blue stones, I should know what I'm playing around. You shouldn't be able to pass turn and have a green stone and I'd be like, oh, they can Lorite me. They can also Fair Spell me. They can also do whatever else green does and all that stuff. So, I would like Lorite banned, but I think there should be a replacement. Is my point. Okay. But that's the only card I'm sure there's another if I really thought about it. But off the top of my head, that's the only thing that's popping into my head that I think should be banned, or if there was to be a ban.
Mm-hmm. And Joe, about you?
Man, I didn't think I'd have this question turned on myself. No, I think Lorite should probably be banned. Just because I agree with Colin on the fun aspect. It feels like the old Black Moonbeam, where whenever I was making decks, I would just block out some ruler options just because it's oh well, he just gets Black Moonbeam, or when a ruler would come out and they had barrier, it's oh, you know what, there, I could do something with this now. So I think it just limits your deck building abilities, but I see why it's needed. So I'm I agree with Colin that we should probably get a good it's something that cancels activate abilities. I can't think of anything else that would need to be banned. Obviously we're gonna need to see what happens with these new rulers and stuff. I do think that there's gonna I Oscar, you're trying to mess me up. Oh,
I didn't do that.
So I kind of agree with Oscar that there will be another ban cycle, but I also kind of they banned a lot of stuff in Wanderer, but the only reason I think they did that was because of the keyword change. I think that required 2 emergency bans, and they even said it was an emergency banning in the article. So that's just why I think it's going to be another ban cycle.
All right. Well, we got to go look at some spoilers for you guys.
Before we go, though, I just want to make sure to mention that you guys want to check out all the top 8 lists for this entire season. It's coming to an end already. You can visit our website. You'll see the top 8 list tab there. As of when this podcast came out, I've updated everything with Gasha images, text, forms, everything. It took me a while to get updated because we've been so busy. Just something that's always coming up every day of the week. But it's ready. It's good to go. So you guys can look at it, share it, do whatever you want. And then we'll have the next season starting up soon, which is pretty cool. After Worlds. But yeah. Just want to make sure I mention that.
All right.
And we'll see you next time.
Exciting times.
Yeah.
All right.
Hope you guys enjoyed the podcast and titillating conversation.
Okay, bye.
Bye.